Sup, this is Alex Chu coming at you with another episode. Yeah, this time I just want to talk about why we have a housing crisis nowadays. Why there is not enough housing for everyone to live. But hold on. Yeah, before I talk about that, I want to tell you my name's Alex Chu. I'm the guy who invented physical immortality rings. These are rings that you put on your small finger string sleep. You wear them, you don't age anymore. You become physically immortal. For example, I'm already 50. In 3 months, I'll be 51. See, I'm still pretty fit, right? My stomach is still really smooth. That means I never worked out. You can tell. My stomach is around like 29 inches or something. I've been 29 ever since I was 19. If you go to livemuchlonger.com, I have lots of testimonials on my what do you call it? The Amazon customer reviews. Most of them give me 4 star, 5 stars. So if you're interested, you want to look like me when you're 51, livemuchlonger.com. Link is at the bottom of this video. Yeah, right now we're having housing crisis. It's like not enough housing for people to live. I totally understand why. The reason is because nowadays everybody's hooked on the internet. See, back in the days, I have lots of friends. I have lots of drinking buddies and eating buddies. I go out and drink and eat with people. Nowadays I don't have any more friends. I choose not to have friends because it's not fun anymore. Watching YouTube videos, we're uploading YouTube videos, we're going to a chat room to chat with other people. That's actually more fun. And you could imagine a lot of people, nowadays, there's a lot of MGTOW. There's, men going their own way. A lot of guys and girls, they don't want to get married anymore. They don't want, because it's not worth it. You lure somebody into your house and like a guy lure a girl into his house, and then the girl end up bossing him around. And then end up a divorce, end up breakup, heartbreaks. It's not worth it. Nowadays, a lot of guys, a lot of people, they just want to choose to live by themselves. See, back in the days, everybody gets married. Nowadays, it's like a lot of people, they just don't want to get married anymore. I have 3 female cousins. None of them are getting married. I mean, I have 3 female cousins that choose to be single for the rest of their lives. No, I totally understand. I think the internet's taking over relationship. So that's the reason why you see a lot of housing crisis nowadays. Like, oh, I can't find a cheap place to rent. You know why? Because back in the days, it's actually entertainment for the landlord to rent out a room or rent out an apartment to somebody. It's like Three's companies, come and knock on our door. We'll be waiting for you. It's actually entertainment for the landlord to rent out a piece of a property. I remember back in the days when I was only 18 or 19, there's a lot of, if I read the newspaper, there's a lot of homeowners, right? I mean, they are willing to rent out a room to a stranger, a total stranger. Like, the whole house is occupied by their family. They got daughters, they got sons, they have grandpa, grandma, and shit like that. Like, 5 people or 7 people living inside their house, and they're a whole family, right? And they're willing to rent out a room just to a stranger for like $300, for like $300. They're willing to rent out a room to a stranger. They're willing to say, yeah, you live in that room, and yeah, we will cook for you. They're willing to cook for you for another like $100 some. They're willing to share their food with you for. Nowadays, that's unthinkable. Who the fuck would do stuff like that? Nobody. But back in the days, 30 years ago, people are willing to do that. You know why? Because it's entertainment. Back in the days, all you have is TV and radio and maybe VHS cassette tape. You buy yourself a, I don't know, VHS video player. You get to watch like movies. You get to rent movies and shit. That's about it. So back in the days, people didn't have enough entertainment. So a lot of people, they depend, they think, oh, maybe we should rent out a room to a total stranger to, I don't know, to gain some entertainment. It's like back in the days, renting a room to a total stranger is sort of like entertainment. But of course you're gambling on it. That guy could turn out to be a huge asshole and you have to evict him and shit like that. But hey, back in the days, it happens all the time. Nowadays, I just cannot imagine like a whole family, they have an extra room. They want to rent it out to a total stranger. This is unthinkable. Nowadays is fucking unthinkable. I don't see why anybody would do that nowadays. I mean, I'd rather give that room to my dog. I wouldn't rent it out to some stranger. No fucking way. Especially nowadays, democracy. I mean, the law is so unfair. It's so one sided. It's like somebody could rent your room and pay half of the rent for 1 month, and then that person stop paying rent, and you can't do shit. You cannot evict that person. You can't do nothing because the law is so unfair nowadays. It favors the poor people. It's so unfair that nobody dares to rent out some room to some total stranger. Nobody. See, I'm living inside a house. See, my house is 28,000 square feet. It has 6 rooms, 4 bathrooms, dining room, kitchen, breakfast area, living room, 2-car garage. I don't dare to rent it out to nobody. I don't rent it out to nobody. I rent it out to a friend of mine. That's about it. I don't dare rent out because I don't know. Nowadays, people don't trust each other anymore. So you could imagine why there's a housing crisis nowadays. And now back in the days, I remember it's like you see, what's that movie called Scarface? Like, Tony Matana, Tony Matana. I am Tony Matana, and he's fighting over some girl. What's her name? Elvira. He's fighting over a girl called Elvira with his boss, Frank Lopez. They're willing to kill each other for some girl. And that Elvira girl, she's just a drug addict. She's always sniffing cocaine and shit. She nowadays is unthinkable. Who the fuck would fight over some cocaine addict? Who the fuck would do such a thing? Who the fuck would fight over some girl who's a cocaine addict? Nobody. Nowadays, you see all these girls. They're beautiful. They're sexy. They're young. They're fucking on the street. They're sitting on the street like a homeless. They're homeless bum. They're fucking on. They're sitting on the street with their high heels on, and nobody wants them. You go to San Francisco, you go to Los Angeles, you go to Philadelphia. This whole bunch of them, pretty and beautiful, sexy girls sitting on the fucking street. Nobody wants them. So it's like I don't know because technology has taken over mankind. You understand? Like me, I'm hooked on YouTube video. I cannot. I actually don't really want a wife. I don't want a girlfriend. I'm fine. I'm YouTube, YouTube videos. It's good. It's good for me. If I'm bored, I watch some fucking X. I don't know, like triple X videos from some Pornhub. That's about it. It's good enough for me. I don't need no. I don't need no woman. I don't need no company. I don't need to rent out room to some stranger. That's the reason why there's housing crisis nowadays. That's the reason why it's like it's so difficult for people to rent a room or to find a place to live. Oh, imagine back in the days, I could rent a room for $200. I'm serious. They cover utility, they cover your electricity and water, $200, everything covered. Nowadays, no fucking way, man. Nowadays, like if I have to go out there and rent a room, everything. I mean, I'm talking about utility room. Everything has to in Bay Area. Oh my god, I'm talking about. I don't know. Like $2,000. How can I afford that? I don't even know how I can afford $2,000 at this pace. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I have a house to myself. Luckily, I bought this house a long time ago, so I just have to pay property tax. But if I have to go out there and rent a room for $2,000, I don't even know how I can afford all that shit. $2,000 a month. That's a lot of money. It's like then I have to compromise my eating habits. I have to compromise other shit. Like I have to feed. See, I have to feed my cat, right? Cat food and shit. I have to compromise that. Ugh. But anyway, housing crisis started like that, you know. So I just wanna clarify that. Hope you guys like my video. Thanks.